since Mr Musk began to work for the Trump administration. BBC News.
Hello and welcome back to OS on the BBC World Service with me, Mark Lowen, live from the heart of our London newsroom. We're going to start this half hour in Syria. President Donald Trump recently announced that the United States was lifting sanctions on the country, and the EU followed suit a week later. It is a major boost to efforts to stabilize Syria by the interim president Ahmed al-Sharaa, whose Islamist militant group ousted Bashar al-Assad's regime 5 months ago, but he has since toned down his political rhetoric. Last week, we heard from Syrians in the hospitality industry hoping to rebuild their livelihoods after years of economic isolation. Today, we bring together 3 Syrian artists to share their hopes for the future after 13 years of civil war. Rama al-Barsha is a viola player in the capital Damascus. Bishir Issa is a trumpet player and choir conductor in the coastal city of Tartus. And Hussam Mughrabi is an art director and an illustrator in Damascus. Rama told me first what her life and work had been like during the war and under Assad.
First of all, I teach in the Damascus Conservatory since 2016. It was difficult because during the war, like 2011 to 2024, and before, I think, 2018, there was non-security, a lot of bombing from both sides, to be honest, from the regime and the opposition. So it was difficult to get to the conservatory, to give lessons, to make people actually come to the university because of lack of security, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And after the regime, people are a bit afraid, I think. But it's not that big problem like it used to be.
You have safety now, but...
Somehow.
Somehow, yes.
Yeah.
But do you feel free to perform, free to play?
Actually, I haven't performed since November last year.
Why is that?
Because the opera house it's not activated properly. That's because they want to change the name because it used to call Dar al-Assad for Culture and Arts, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And now they want to change its name. And many logistical problems takes time. So we're just waiting.
Bishir, how has it been for you?
Actually, during the war, there's no support at all. The arts were not a priority for the regime. The previous regime was completely uninterested in art, culture, or music, except for that it used to polish its image as a civilized regime. However, at its core, the previous regime didn't support anyway the art and culture and the artistic cultural achievements. Actually, now we feel, I think, we are returned to the embrace of the international community. Now it's better. Somehow we don't know yet. We are waiting. I performed during this time since the regime left in many concerts.
And how did that feel to perform in a new Syria?
Actually, it was strange. We don't know the new regime or the new government. We have opinions about them. Up till now, they deal not bad with me. I asked for many concerts, and they gave me the permission to do it. But the problem is not that. The problem is the whole situation here in theaters or in the concert places are very, very bad. Theaters are not good. So we performed at our halls in Music Friends Association in Tartus and in the street, in the garden, in the public garden. We still were working, and our rehearsals have never stopped. We still screen films and hold music appreciation sessions in our halls at French Music Association in Tartus. Choir members remain committed to attending rehearsals, and our audience continue to come to our center to listen to music. This is a private center, not a governmental center. And all the centers, all the big theaters is here in Syria are governmental theaters, and they are not in good situation. And if we want to make them good, it will be very expensive. The theaters are in poor condition, and it lack proper sound and lighting equipment, which forces us to rent the necessary gear. So all of this makes organizing musical concerts in a big one is extremely costly.
Hussam, tell me what your work was like under Assad and under the regime, and how you feel now.
I'm Hussam Mughrabi. I'm living in Damascus during the war. I didn't leave it. I'm a film director, a creative director, and founder of Sketchat Studio in Damascus since 15 years. We are making creative media production. I worked with all ministries of the country before and after the Assad's regime fallen. I can tell you something. When we worked under the Assad's regime, the first and the most important thing for the artists were the freedom of speech. And we didn't have the freedom of speech. The one who said anything about the regime, he's gonna be arrested and gonna be tortured and gonna be died. I'll tell you some story. I guess your guests will remember it. On 2008, in the Festival of Damascus, the capital of culture, I was working as caricaturist or cartoonist in a local newspaper. I drew a caricature about the spends of the government, about the fireworks. It was thousands of dollars. At the same time, people were dying of cold, and it was a case of lack of fuel. I drew a simple caricature. The next day, the intelligence bureau called the newspaper and told us they will arrest us. I can tell you, we did go far from the newspaper office. It was our life under the Assad regime.
Mm-hmm.
Another point, we had the technical problems, Mark. We had no electricity under the Assad regime. It was one of his weapons to destroy the whole citizens, the whole Syrians. Especially for the artists, the electricity and the internet connection, there was no internet connection. So as an illustrator, I do illustrations for newspapers, for children magazines, and other art like that, or motion graphics. All the media we couldn't transfer it via the internet. Mm-hmm. And the most dangerous thing we faced under the Assad regime is how we could receive our money, our
your wages.
Payment.
Yeah.
The one who put his name in the firm of money exchange to receive the money exchange about it, the regime the intelligence gonna arrest you and mm-hmm. torture you under the accusation of you receive supporting terrorism, accusation of supporting terrorism. You know, I have a friend of mine, he died like that.
Really?
And the others ran away from the country to the other countries. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's not a secret.
Yeah.
Those stories I told you are not secrets, but only we uncover them now.
Do you feel that the new regime or the new government in power is open to culture and open to culture that may be associated more with the West, classical music and sort of traditional forms of culture? Because, of course, we're talking about a government which has Islamist roots and is led by a former jihadist.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I can speak for myself, I don't get my hopes very high because I don't want to get disappointed again. We suffered for my age, 33 years, And the last 14, 15 years was like hell. And I don't think the new government, I speak for myself, actually. I'm not a pessimist and neither optimist. I don't think this is their first or their most important thing to start with.
Yes, that's
I
right.
mean, my culture,
Yeah.
you know, it's not their first priority to start music or concerts or festivals or whatever. There's many more stuff before that's most important for them.
Do you think, Rama, that there is a sort of ideological opposition to culture in any way?
Actually, they don't trust us. I mean, what I mean by that.
Yes, yes.
By the
Would you
way,
please express this?
Good answer.
by the way,
Good
Mr.
answer.
Bishir was my teacher. Yeah.
Bisha, you're laughing at that. Do you agree?
That's a good answer. Bravo, Rama.
They don't trust us at all.
What do you
They
mean,
think
Rama?
I mean,
What?
so if I want to do a concert, for example, what's the subject of the concert? Why it is? Who will fund it? And a lot of questions. And after that, they ask you, what's your religion? What's your name? Where are you from? So many questions that we don't think about because we are musicians. We don't have boundaries between people, neither for religions, views, political views. We don't have these boundaries. But some of them ask these questions. And so by that, they don't trust us because they think that we stayed here and we didn't leave the country. So we were all working with Assad. And it's not true. We had to work to live. We didn't leave the country because this was our choice, maybe, not to leave. And now maybe we feel sorry about it. Should have left, by the way. It's okay.
Bisha, do you agree?
Yes, the
I'm
problem
not.
here is that the government in Damascus is another one that deals with us in state circles.
Yeah.
Another one. Actually, we're still waiting to see whether the new government will demonstrate a genuine commitment to advancing culture and the arts.
Yeah.
There's no positive signs in this regard in the foreseeable future. Culture and arts do not appear to be among the government's current priorities, as it struggles to provide basic security for citizens, revolve internal conflicts, and reign in uncontrolled armed factions.
Yeah.
Added to this, it's the extremely dire economic situation and the lack of electricity. Under such conditions, music, art, and culture are perceived by the authorities as a kind of intellectual luxury rather than a necessity.
An intellectual luxury, you say?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hussam?
I guess that today we are on the beginning. We get the primary things we need, like safety, and it's our concerns, I guess. It's not enough, sure. Those are our rights. It's not a gift from the new government. Those are our rights.
Can I ask finally, do you feel that you all have an important role to play in the building of your new country, the new Syria, as
Sure.
cultural figures? What is the role that you can play, and do you feel optimistic about the future of your country?
So actually, during the war or the 14, 15 years that passed, actually we lost a lot of great and amazing musicians, Syrian musicians, our friends who left the country because of their political views, afraid from the regime, from going to prison. We lost them. So we have a lack of musicians in Syria, professional. I think I know there are many amateurs musicians, and we were proud of them. But we're missing a lot of our professional musicians because of the war. Now the war has ended, sanctions being left. That's all good news. But are we optimistic about the news coming? I don't know. I don't think so. Because people, our friends, are seeing and watching the news, harassing people for whatever reason it was, making decisions that's not right for all Syrians. And I think my personal opinion that we are Syrian are new to freedom. So we don't know what we want from it. and everyone would have a point of view and wants to make you feel like him and think like him. This is not freedom. Freedom is to do whatever you want and not harm others. So we are new to freedoms. We have to learn about it more, I think. So we need time.
Hussam?
In the last month, I have more than 6 or 7 friends of mine which are artists. They came back to Syria, and we were astonished of that. And we talked to them, why did you return to Syria? And left America, United States, or many of them returned from Belgium, from Germany, Austria. All of them were optimists.
Bishir?
Actually, I'm serious and honest about this. I consider myself with my choir, that's more than 300 singers in my Urjuan choirs. I consider myself and them responsible for creating music in New Syria. Actually, we will continue fighting and struggling to save our heritage, culture, music, and make not them to die.
Bishir, Hussam and Rama, all Syrians with their mixed opinions about the future of their country. Our best wishes to them and thanks for talking to us.